in the end on this, and trying not to be just cheerleaders of change here on that end, and it is evolving, but usually with evolution, there is winners and losers in this evolution that goes on too. And I guess from an integrator standpoint, from the channel standpoint, is this net negative or net positive in the end, do you believe?
I think it's absolutely net positive. I view this nothing as positive. I just think about our most innovative partners and distributors from my personal seat right now.
When you say partners, you mean manufacturers?
Yeah, manufacturers. Yeah, and when I say manufacturers, I mean both software and hardware. That the tighter that collaboration becomes, and the more we co-innovate, we co-sell and co-market these solutions in a way that collaboratively bring them to market, the more value I think is being unlocked for the end user. And I'm going to go back to something you said earlier, which is the specialization. I think where this really finds depth and velocity and incremental growth for everyone is in that specialization around verticals, around use cases, and being able to tightly orchestrate all of the moving parts of the software stack, hardware, the programmatic delivery, the maintenance, the services, all of those things to bring that solution to market in a more turnkey fashion. There's a lot of value in that, incremental value for this industry, for everybody involved, to bring those solutions in a much, much faster way to market.
So on this topic, I was recently watching a documentary on Netflix. It's about, I forget, it's called Buy Something. Anyway, it's all about the way that modern e-commerce in particular, but vendors generally have had this obsessive focus on making it easier for people to buy stuff. And sort of the pinnacle of that would be when Amazon introduced one click, right?
Yeah.
So that's it in one image. But they obsessed about how to do that, right? And that was the whole focus. We don't really have that same obsession in the industry about making it super easy for people to buy stuff. That's just not a focal point that we have. And I'm wondering how it would go if it were.
Yeah, well, I mean, just in construction, really, in a lot of ways, there's the complexity in the process. The fragmentation is typically the industry's opportunity, where the value is seen as being able to do that. But as things shift and the value is not solving for the complexity of the different parts and pieces, but actually solution selling into the marketplace with some complexity, because I don't know, I'm pretty good at the audio video stuff, but I still would probably bring somebody in to fit out my office for it, because there's an aspect of time also.
Lee, I think somebody described it to me this way one time, is I think and this is somebody from outside of our industry, said it's very clear to me, this person was big tech, that your industry is undergoing a transformation from construction contracting models to a services business model. And largely, I think if you look at it, if you were able to zoom out and just kind of compact the last 5 years of time, you really see that happening. And we have a long history in this industry of much more of a project sale, construction contracting methodology of how we all engage with customers, project delivery, and lien rights and all the things that are kind of around the physical property world. It's how this industry grew up. And it's a business model transformation writ large across the whole industry towards a move to services and a services business model. And that's a very different, it's more SLA driven, it's more KPI and outcome driven, it's much more dynamic and real time. And again, it takes the orchestration. It doesn't take a lot of creativity, or mental brain power to kind of envision what transpired over the last 20 years in the IT world and the move to MSPs. And there's a lot of a blueprint for, I think, the way this industry is going to evolve in the next 5-10 years in that move towards more of a services type business model.
I like that a lot, actually. And this one too, and something that you all have said in here, that this one seemed like the one that if you were to take a look at the first Megatrends and then follow 2, 3, 4, all the way to 9, this is like an outcome of a lot of those foundational Megatrends that you had. Is sort of because of these things, in a lot of ways, we're now seeing the evolution of the channel. So there's a history lesson to go back to go look at. And I wonder which of these that are in the report now, when we look 9 years later, will be this IT, OT convergence, the value story, the rest of it. Here's now the evolution of, I don't know, it could be the evolution of the end user, something that's going to come out of that.
I do think that, back to your point about championing change and Steve's point about, one click with Amazon. I think we have to be thoughtful, again, if the end user is at the center and we're really trying to understand, and quite frankly, how we all like to consume. You want frictionless, you want ease, you don't want multiple steps, you want instant gratification. I mean, that's the world we live in. And so we need to accept that reality. And you say, who are the winners and the losers? I think the people that don't embrace the change, but do it practically in your role, your company, where you are in the ecosystem, where can you play, and then focus on being excellent at that. Because if you try to be the jack of all trades, we know what happens. And so I think it's going to be an evolution for all of us, and we have to be very thoughtful about it. I think we do have to collaborate. And I think we also have to really understand when there's disruption and a customer doesn't want to buy with us or in the manner that they do, why not? What are we getting wrong? What are we not doing? I mean, those are the questions we should be, asking versus, we'll always have the market position that we will. And I think there's some in the industry that do that to their peril. And so I agree with Steve and Eric that it's a myopic focus on the end user and really understanding what realistic value can we provide in this evolving world. And it's going to vary by segment.